Welcome back, guys. I have a doozy of a video to go through today. I've said in other videos that white collar women don't work, and it's not even just like white collar women don't work, just women in general don't work. You've just seen a degradation in quality of work over time. Like the vast majority of women, it seems, want to be marketers and influencers and social media managers and do email campaigns and manage user generated content and be models and all this kind of stuff. That just kind of seems to be what people what women want to do. And I just don't know for how much longer our economy or society can support that. I think social media, especially TikTok and Instagram, are just absolute cesspools filled with garbage. And I think everyone should get off them and delete those apps. But those platforms really cater to the women's sphere. So it's unsurprising to me that there are so many people that want to be influencers. I think they think it's an easy life, and they're just adding no value to society. Like if Instagram went down tomorrow, like we would be fine. Society would be fine. But anyways, I digress. All right. This is, like I said, Paul Joseph Watson. He's diving in to how women aren't working anymore. And I think you'll really enjoy this.
What do young women even do anymore?
Influencers record a day in the life. They usually pick their busiest day to show you exactly what they're doing. So let me do exactly that. Welcome to a day in my life.
Why do they all talk like this where the words run into one another?
Day in the life is a girl who's always on the move in New York City. We're back at it with another self-care day. And let me tell you, this was
What does it say about the sorry state of shortening attention spans caused by TikTok? It's also really fucking annoying.
two things. Started my day with my usual cold brew with oat milk. And then the weather.
I mean, I know I do jump cuts, but Jesus Christ.
Started off the morning with some morning sunshine, got a little
Dystopian hellhole.
Bloom energy drink in me, and then headed over to Hot Pilates. I go to practice room, my favorite studio. I go almost every single day. I have to work out in the morning. It has to be.
Okay, in case you've never gone to like fitness studios like this, I used to be big into this when I lived in DC, and at the time it was like anywhere from like $35, $40, $45, $50 a class, depending on what kind of fitness program you did. I used to do solid core, which was pretty expensive. A month pass to solid core was like $400 or $500 a month. So if she's going every day to the studio, just do the math.
Part of my routine. I don't feel right if I don't.
Good God, this is insufferable.
So usually I do run, practice room, or lift weights in the morning. I also didn't really record this class because I feel bad recording in studios. People pay for this. I don't want to.
Fairly good looking, but by no means the most attractive woman on the planet. Though I can think of two reasons why she's popular.
And I immediately went to go get a post-workout smoothie, protein shake. So good.
As ever, literally half the day is just consume, consume, consume.
Then I had therapy for an hour. Yes, hot girls do go to therapy.
A frenzied yet vacuous childless existence based around rampant materialism. An atomized city girl living in a pod, taking pictures.
This is like my critique of New York City. So whenever I talk about white collar women or women not working, or like I'm critiquing feminism, like this is what I'm critiquing. I'm critiquing this like archetype of a woman who does no work, spends the entire day like consuming drinks, consuming food, buying things that really she doesn't need. She just is for, vanity and performance. Not actually doing work. Like it's a life of leisure that is like being documented, and the documentation of that is what is being sold on social media. So it creates this illusion of like a life that isn't actually real or valuable. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I would get stressed out if I did that every single day. Like if every single day feels like a vacation, like that kind of feels like a vacation to me. If I did that every single day, like went to my favorite coffee shops, went to, a fitness studio, did this or that, like I would go crazy. I literally would go crazy. Like I think you need to space some of that stuff out. Otherwise you stop appreciating it as much. But man, this is what I'm talking about. Like these women are just so insufferable, and all they do is they just spend money and consume, and they do these things. And then because they're posting on social media and the women's sphere is on TikTok and Instagram, they're seeing this and they're judging and benchmarking their own lives against this. And so the belief is like among the women's sphere is like you should be trying to become an influencer. You should be trying to live this kind of life, a high consumer life in a city like New York City. And like it degrades the value of work. It makes women not want to work hard, because why would you? If you have someone like that, seriously, if you have someone like this who is just taking pictures, posting them onto social media and making it look like she's living a 6-figure plus life, a comfortable life in New York City, who's going to want to go show up to a job where they're making $40,000, $50,000 a year, and working, 8 to 10 hours a day. I definitely felt that when I was in my mid-20s, living in Washington, D.C. And that was the height of influencers. And it was at a time where you still could grow organically on platforms like Instagram. And I remember being deep in the weeds of that and being like, why would I continue slaving away at this desk where I hate working here, I hate doing this job. Why would I continue doing this when I could be, make content online? And I completely get it. Like, who wants to slave away at a desk all day when you can just take pictures of yourself drinking coffee and going to fitness classes?
Of their own bobs and pretending it's a real job. Yeah, I can see why she's in therapy.
I had to get ready really quickly because I booked a studio on Pier Space in Brooklyn, so I had to go grab a matcha.
More beverages.
Honestly, I don't usually go to blank space.
Okay, also, can we, bring modesty back? I'm just tired of half-naked women walking around all the time and making it seem like that's normal. Like, can we normalize, modesty and covering yourself up? Like, I'm not saying, you need to dress like a Mormon fundamentalist, like you're out of the 18th, 19th century. But can we just, not show everything? Is that so hard to ask?
Wait, what? Blank space. Okay, Taylor Swift. Blank street. But, it was just right next to the subway. I don't really like it that much, I'm gonna be honest. The studio, I was going to shoot for one brand, but then I found out I had to actually shoot for 2 brands, so I was trying to game plan because I only had 2 hours in the studio, and if I stayed over, then I get to pay overtime. So I kind of just was being sporadic for 2 hours. I blacked out. I don't really remember what I did.
Wait, what?
I blacked out. I don't really remember what I did.
Oh, I'm sure it was vital work.
And then went to sushi counter immediately because I was starving. I'm regular there, but you would never know because I don't have my punch card ever, so I'm never getting put on the damn wall.
Consume.
Other coffee shop, because oh my god, how many drinks can Izzy have in one day? I don't know.
Consume.
Don't stay home at all during the work week. I just like to be out of the house at all times, so I always do my editing out of the house.
No surprise when...
So coming from a perspective of someone who kind of used to do this, not to the extent that she's doing it, but I used to not like being in my apartment. And so I would go out and work outside of my apartment all the time. And I think that's because for a lot of people, apartments aren't really homes. They're a place you rent. They're a place you're paying to sleep, but it's not really a home. Now that I have a place that I call home, I much prefer being in home, hanging out with my dogs, making coffee whenever I want, wearing whatever I want. I much prefer being in a space that feels like home and is home versus going out and gallivanting around town. So if there's any people who have done studies on this, I'd be curious to know more about. I wonder if there's a psychological theory behind this, but I think when you don't have a place that feels like home, and like he was saying, New York's a highly atomized city, you want to be out and about because that's what gives you social value. And for me, this is how I felt, gives you social proofs. It makes you feel like you're existing and your worth matters in public sphere when you're single or you're trying to build a career like she is on social media. You have to have external value. Whereas if you're, building your own business, you're at home, you're in a good relationship, you have a home that you're not renting, that you own. It's different. It hits different. I don't know. I'd be curious if anyone has ever come across theories that talk about that.
When you live in an urban pod.
Then I realized it was 7 p.m. because the coffee shop, it closed. So I went to go grab some groceries, came home. I made this little watermelon salad situation.
Watermelon salad situation. Watermelon salad situation.
And then was editing, and then Love Island Reunion turned on. And I was like,
Consume.
I gotta watch. It was kind of bad though. I'm not gonna.
Good God, that was exhausting. And it wasn't a one-off. All her videos are like this.
I quit my job and moved to New York City on a whim. Let me show you how it's been going. Hi, my name's Izzy. I moved to New York a few months ago from Florida to pursue pursue content creation full-time and just recently started a small business. This day off for the 4.5-mile walk because it was just too nice out to go to the gym. And yes, 55 and sunny is nice for New York. I FaceTime my friend Allie for like an hour on the walk.
I don't know what's more soul-destroyingly pointless. All those female HR daycare jobs or this. She worked for a total of 2 hours, blacked out and didn't even remember it. What a meaningful job that must be. Female city lifestyle equals inane materialistic hell. I was having fun until I turned the volume on. Materialism maxing, no concept of introspection, no thinking about meaning of life. No questions like, this is just food or drinks. Is it wise to be spending so much time on these?
This is an interesting tweet. So it says here, by Tasteful Lindy, these women are the backbone of the New York City retail economy. I don't think people understand this. This is why women are doing this. This is why women aren't working. This is why they're living hyperconsumerism lifestyles, because women like this are the backbone of our economy. Because when you're married and you have a family, your priorities change, and suddenly you don't want to spend as much, or you're in a relationship and you've agreed together that you're not going to spend as much. But single women, especially those who seek validation and inclusion in the culture that's around them, they will be prompted to spend more money, and that programming, I think, is indoctrinated into women through social media. That's why I think women really need to get off social media, because it's not even just keeping up with the Joneses anymore. It is fundamentally altering like how they perceive reality. This is not real. This is an illusion that was created to prop up the consumer economy, because that is the engine, that's the gas that powers the engine of our economy, is consumption. So without hyper consumerism like this, things will start grinding to a halt real quick.
TikTok's absolutely saturated with these vapid day in the life of a city girl videos. Believe it or not, millions of them aspire to this, and we wonder why fertility rates for white women in the US are plummeting. But some would accuse me of overthinking all this. I've seen like 10 think pieces on here about this stupid video. Holy shit, no wonder you're all incels. Look at her ginormous cans, for God's sake. Who actually cares what she's doing? But after her video went viral on X, the influencer clapped back on the haters.
Seems like I'm going viral on Twitter, and I'm not even going to share what it is or show the comments because I don't want to give more attention to the matter.
Asserting that she was definitely contributing way more to the world than just a nice set of cans.
And more than just my body. They made comments about like me having a man face and a man voice, and like that my only quality is like my boobs. Like they're always gonna say that kind of stuff, but I know that's not true.
And that you're basically an incel for suggesting otherwise.
You should never take criticism from someone that is doing less than you. These are just low lives, they're in their parents' basement, like whatever. And you have to wonder like, what makes someone...
gosh. I guarantee you she is on mommy and daddy's credit card. If she quit her job and her life and moved from Florida to New York City and is starting a business and is pursuing content creation full time, she's either on OF or she is on her mommy and daddy's credit card, and she is just racking up charges. They're paying for it. They're paying for her rent. That they're subsidizing her. And I saw this a bunch in Washington, D.C. So you cannot convince me otherwise. I would need to see receipts from this girl if she's actually paying her own way, but I suspect she's not. And so that really doesn't make her, these urban chicks who are subsidized by the bank of mom and dad, they're no different than the dudes they look down on who are playing video games in mom and dad's basement. Like they're two sides of the same coin, and she's not any better, and she has no reason to take the moral high ground here.
So miserable that they're okay to leave such hateful words on other people's content.
The swamp and their allies in Big Pharma know this. A healthy, energised population is harder to control. That's why the unelected bureaucrats at the FDA are trying to put NMN in the hands of Big Pharma. That's nicotinamide mononucleotide, a natural supplement which is vital for the functioning of the 37 trillion cells in your body. It can help reduce weight, cholesterol, and even blood pressure in overweight adults, meaning it can influence a girl or a big city corporate wagey girl. Wow, she looks happy. Lives in a pod, works in a pod. Then look at the NPCs in the comments. I wish I lived and worked in London. Looks great. It really fucking doesn't.
I love how he calls it like living in a pod and working in a pod. This is really what it is. Like, I lived in a 300 square foot studio apartment in Washington, D.C. I didn't even have enough room for a real bed. I had like a Japanese shikibutan that would fold up, and I slept on the floor. And then I, worked in a cubicle farm. But this is, again, like, this is why you have to live outside, and like you have to go and do things and spend money and create like social proof for yourself, because if you didn't, your existence is pod to pod. Like that's all you're doing. You're just commuting from one pod to another, and neither is a joyful experience. They're completely soulless and depraving. So that's why people do things in public. They'll go coffee shops and go out to eat all the time, because that's where they get social stimulation and validation, and they feel like there's something more to their lives than just, pod to pod, sleep, repeat.
Love the pod at 1 p.m. I use something similar. Jesus wept. Get in the pod, Wagey.
So I had my first big day today in my London corporate girly job.
I'm sure this is going to be another crucial role.
I made my way into the office, which is in the centre of Oxford Circus. They put this little spread on for breakfast, which is absolutely stunning. Met all the team in person. Oh my God, the team are incredible. The job's incredible. I'm beyond happy. I'm over.
Okay, let's get back to this girl in 6 months, and she'll be complaining about all her teammates. They'll be backstabbing each other, catcalling each other, like just being all catty and mean to one another. And then she's gonna be like, oh, this job sucks. I hate it. Like, come on.
We all headed out together to get our lunch.
Busy morning then.
We went to the Salad Project, which I've never tried or never heard of, but I think it's quite big in the London corporate scene. Anyway, I felt like I was living my big girl London life. Then we cheekily went to IKEA to shoot some content. Sorry, don't kill me. But this was super fun, and I really do love the girls that I'm working with. Did a little bit of shopping because I'm on Oxford Street, of course. And this is where it kind of goes downhill, because I had my first crush tube experience, which was an experience, and then I got no more videos after this because I got a fare on the train because my rail card had expired, so I got home in a bit of a mood, but that was my day, and it was really good.
Okay, so did fuck all, went to IKEA, went shopping, and they get paid for this. You know that meme about female corporate jobs mainly revolving around sending pointless emails all day?
I'm convinced anyone could learn my job in one afternoon as an email marketing manager where I make $80,000 a year. I start off the day checking my email messages and
this is automation right here. This girl's not going to have a job in another, 6 to 12 months. I will bet money on it.
Project management tool for my daily tasks. 80% of my day is literally just building emails.
Not bad work if you can get it, but then she doesn't even write the emails.
I don't write them, strategize, decide when to send or who to send them to. I receive a brief like this with all the content and the email logic, and I literally copy and paste it into our email builder in Salesforce. A marketing email ends up looking something like this.
$80K for that?
It's a big company, so my role is very specialized compared to other email jobs I've had.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it requires a stunning level of skill and talent.
On average, I send like 7 to 20 emails per day.
As little as 7 emails a day, which she doesn't even have to write. For $80K?
I really enjoy it because my workday is very organized, predictable.
Oh yes, nothing like the inspiring, life-affirming cut and thrust of predictability.
Oh yeah, and I only have like 3 meetings a week. Yay, I no longer hate my life.
Big doubt. And she didn't even have to study marketing to get the job. No wonder they call it female adult daycare. Day in my life, corporate girl working in London City. Arrives at work, drinks coffee, buys lunch, eats lunch, drinks coffee, leaves work, goes shopping, goes home. Right, so
Are you noticing like a pattern here? Like I did another video of a girl she worked at Microsoft in India, and she did like a day in her life at her job, and it was the same pattern. It's you show up, you eat if there's breakfast available, you maybe work for a little bit, you get coffee, you work lunch, and then you work for a little bit, and then there's coffee, and then you do your end of the day wrap up, and then you leave. So you're doing like, I would say like 2 hours spurt. So within like a 4-hour block, maybe you're doing like a 2-hour spurt of work, but within that 2 hours, you're probably like spending half the time on email or Slack or chatting someone or in Teams or whatever. So really these people are probably like, they're probably only at their desks for like 4 to 5 hours. And of that time, maybe they're doing like 2 to 3 hours worth of work. So like they're not producing anything. Like, what are these people producing? What value? Like, I'm sorry to all the marketers out there. I do not see any value in campaigns to convince people to buy crap they don't need, to fix problems in their lives that you've invented for them. Like, I just don't see the social or economic value in that. And I know there is economic value, but I don't, I think it's a vapid existence. But this is what I'm talking about. This is the type of white collar work a lot of women do. They live in big cities. They put on this like appearance of a life like this, and it's just not realistic, and it's not practical, and it's not going to be sustainable for much longer because corporate executives, guess what? They are watching videos like this. They're seeing what's happening. They're not dumb, and they're looking for ways to get these women off their payrolls as quickly as possible because they're costing these companies more money than they're getting back in return.
Where was the work? This is what young women are doing now they're no longer having kids. A really vital and meaningful existence, I'm sure you'll agree. Gen Z females really are totally screwed, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you value what I...
All right. If you're not subscribed to Paul, definitely check his stuff out. But yeah, I mean, he ends this perfectly. Like this is what feminists have fought for. This is what feminists have fought for. Like the right to buy $7-8 coffees 2-3 times a day, the right to spend $20 on a sweet green salad during lunch, the right to spend, you know, thousands of dollars every year on hair and makeup and buying all these products, you know, the right to live in a pod and go work in a pod. Like this is the lie we've been sold. Like how is, like, okay, for a period of time I get how that type of life can be fulfilling, especially if you're new in the job or if you're young, you know, the city's new, it's fun, there's things to do. But at some point you age out. Like these girls were probably all in their, you know, mid-20s, early mid-20s. Like by the time you hit your mid-30s and all of your friends are married and you're all alone, like this does not age well. And then you're still doing this and you're like, okay, now what? And then by the time you hit your 40s, you're definitely having a midlife crisis. Because you can't afford anything, you can't do anything. Just look at all of the millennial women crashing out on TikTok and on Instagram, the ones who are divorcing their husbands because they're bored, and because they want to go back to, you know, having a party life that they, you know, lament, you know, not having anymore. You know, this is what feminism has sold us. It's an utter lie. You need to find things in life that have value and meaning and give you purpose, and those things typically are not consumable goods. They're things that require work and patience and persistence and diligence and learning a skill and mastering it and doing it wrong for a while and getting back up and doing it again. And there's a lot of hard work. Living a good life, living a meaningful life is hard work. So if you're not working hard, and if your job isn't giving you the ability to do hard, you're not going to have a meaningful life. Like, it's going to be miserable. So this is, yeah, this is why women are struggling and they're not doing any work. And this is why this is going to create a lot of problems later on, especially as these women have built up these unsustainable lifestyles. They've propagated it on social media, so they think this is normal. Once they lose their jobs to AI and automation, they're not going to be able to sustain those lifestyles. And so they're going to fall back on, you know, public welfare programs or bank of mom and dad or friends or whoever. They're going to fall back on external sources to sustain them because they don't have the capacity to do hard work because they never practiced it. They weren't encouraged to. And, you know, if you're on the bank of mom and dad's payroll and you have been since, you know, for the entirety of your life, like, clearly you didn't learn the value of doing chores as a kid, so you just have no capacity for doing work as an adult. And so these women are going to be stranded in the economy. They're not going to have any value or any skills. The only value they will have is, you know, starting families, but unless they change their attitudes, men don't want them. So these are the future childless cat ladies that are going to be between a rock and a hard place because, like I said, they have no value to add. Their mindsets are totally messed up. They don't want to participate in society in a meaningful way. They're highly narcissistic. And then they're going to be turning to taxpayers to subsidize them when, you know, that their jobs run out and they don't retrain and they don't look for other types of work. I don't think any of these women, none of these women would go be home health aides. If they had a choice between claiming unemployment benefits or going and getting a job for $12-13 an hour as a home health aide, changing adult diapers, they're going to choose the welfare benefits. So these are women who are going to be parasites on the system for the rest of their lives. And that's going to be a huge flashpoint, I think, politically in the United States and likely much of the rest of the world as well. As, you know, you have property owners and hardworking men and women who are going to be asked to foot the bill, and I don't think they're going to be willing to. Like, that's a hard sell. It's a real hard sell. If you enjoyed this take on Paul Joseph Watson's video, I'd love it if you would like and subscribe and share this with anyone you know. I'll link his original video in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.